cautiously optimistic that this unidimensional view that return on equity is the sole measure of corporate success, I think this is getting shaken to some extent. I'm very happy to see that. There are various movements going on in the world right now as we speak. I'm involved in a couple of them, so I know them from the inside. There is a movement, for example, called conscious capitalism, where the whole idea in that movement is to step away from a unidimensional index of progress. There have been approaches where people have talked about the triple bottom line, for example. There have been approaches where people talk about balanced scorecards. So I think we are seeing a movement where that narrow dimension of success is opening up. And I hope that the momentum will catch up and that this will move from the periphery into the mainstream. Conscious leaders have a huge role to play, because unless there are strong leaders who can go out there and advocate this, the inertia will not change. But there are people doing it. And as I said, I'm cautiously hopeful. I think that in the modern world, with technology having become so instantaneous, I think leaders of organizations or leaders of countries are immediately aware of the wake that they are leaving behind. In fact, the world will not let them hide from the wake. This, I think, is a good thing. Whether it is Arab Spring or whether it is young people presenting a point of view about unethical business practices or things like that. So I think that it is harder and harder for the wake to take leaders by surprise. If they choose to ignore it, it's a different matter, and that is just being unconscious. But I think there is enough material out there and enough feedback from the system coming back at you to tell you that, listen, you are leaving behind a toxic wake. Of course, as usual, there will be people who will choose not to listen. And to them, crisis will be necessary. I'm hopeful that these leaders haven't become leaders by being stupid people. They're obviously very talented at what they do. They're highly qualified. They're very capable, very competent people. And I think if there are enough mirrors, whether it is through social media, whether it is through movements like the ones I've described, whether it is through activist groups which focus more on awareness and a little less on activism, I think there are enough mirrors for leaders to now recognize that leadership of the future is going to require a perspective that takes the entire ecosystem into account. And building a capability for that kind of leadership is a huge business challenge. And actually, nobody really knows how to do it. In my view, the answers to that kind of a problem have to come from inside of the leader, not from outside. So, as I said, I'm optimistic that we are seeing enough signs of change for something dramatic to happen in the future.